back to the MVP podcast, the People Show, where we talk about the most valuable players in the world of sports. Welcome to Weezy, what seems to be quite a lot of new followers. So we really appreciate you guys for doing that. We're just going to keep dropping content as much as we can. And I'm going to drop Sosa's line as well, which is if you do like the video, make sure that you click the like button. Or in Sosa's words, if you like the video. And that way we get more notoriety, we put more effort into our content and all sorts. So without further ado, my name is B-man. I'm here with Weezy. What are you telling me, boss? What are you telling me?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. The Champions League football has been something different. It's been something different. First question. These one-legged games, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah. Me, I love them. One shot, one kill.
One shot, one kill, right? I feel like there's more chances of seeing some upsets, I suppose. But I suppose at the same time, you don't want to see too many little teams in the Champions League knockout stages either.
Yeah, but it's exciting though, man. You've got to give it. It adds to the excitement of it. There's been a lot of, do you know what I mean? It's been where everybody thought this team's got, do you know what I mean? These teams are going to go through, and they've given a lot. Atlanta gave PSG the scare of their lives. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Leipzig, underdogs against Atletico, took them out. Lyon, which we'll get into and all that. So, do you know what I mean? I've enjoyed it, I'll tell you what, straight, I think this is one of the Champions Leagues that I've enjoyed the most in the last, I would say, about 4 or 5 years.
I agree. I do agree.
And there's no fans.
And there are no fans. Yeah. I say for now it's good, but I think if you look at it from like a 5-year span, if you got this for 5 years, I'd be honest. Because I think at one stage I do want to see like a massive semi-finals. Finals. Big teams playing each other. So I like it now, but probably not later. But let's get into it now.
Yeah.
Like you said, Atlanta gave PSG the scare of their lives, but they've nicked it at the skin of their teeth. Is Atlanta overhyped? Did people put them on a massive pedestal?
Atlanta? No, I don't go with that notion, man. I think they deserved the hype they got. They were free scoring. I mean, some of their games were ridiculous, like 5-7s and all that. Yeah. So for me, I enjoyed watching them play. I mean, like you said in it, maybe, I don't know, because I'm a fan of the underdog in it. Maybe I fell into that notion of thinking, like, without looking into their results too much, this and that. But for me, I don't want to go with that notion. I think every year you get that little fairy tale story of a team that just, you know what I mean, grabs your heart and this and that. So for me, I enjoyed watching them play. I think they were, do you know when you mention an Italian team, innit, you're like, defensive, we're going out, we're winning 1-0. These guys were like scoring 3-4s in games, and do you know what I mean? They were exciting, and the budget of that team, I don't think they were overhyped. I think they deserve their hype.
You think so? I think they were overhyped, you know. They came into the Champions League, they lost the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Through to Man City, and then they won the next 2 games. And then they managed to squeak through on 7 points. And then they beat Valencia.
Okay.
To me, it's a nice fairy tale story, but I think there are other teams that have beaten better teams and done better than Atlanta that are like kind of on the same level, kind of like Leipzig or Lyon, for example. I feel like they've had to go through bigger teams to get to where they are, as opposed to...
I get that, but at the same time, Atlanta, I don't know, we'll have to look into this, but I don't know. When it like about 6-7 years ago, when they're not in like Serie B or something like that, they were relegated, they just came back up, got Champions League. Yeah, was it 5 years ago or something like that? They were relegated, Champions League. So in terms of a fairy tale story and stuff like that, I don't know. I mean, it's up there for me. But at the same time, I don't know, like this, if you remember this, but you remember Newcastle in the Champions League years back? Yeah. Lost their first 3 games, won their next 3, went on that run. Similar to that.
I believe that they went through by beating Feyenoord that year in the group stage.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And then
and if my memory serves me well, I think Juventus and Deportivo La Coruña were also in that group.
Yeah. And then they lost the first 3, won the next 3, went on a little run. And it kind of, you know what I mean, pulled on your heartstrings. You're like, you want to do that. That's what Atlanta's like, the underdog side of it, innit? So this whole lockdown, should we call it lockdown Champions League and that? It's just pure I don't know, it's just pure. Can we call it upsets anymore? Because so many teams have gone through. Like, look at the semi-finals. It's madness.
Still an upset. Let's move on to the next team, right? This is for me is the biggest Cinderella story. RB Leipzig went to play Atletico Madrid and they came out winners. Did you think it was convincing winners, or did you think they scraped it?
I think Diego Simeone gave it to them.
Why? What makes you say that?
Do you know what it is? I buy into Diego Simeone doing what he does against Liverpool, Barcelona, Madrid. But when you're on level, when you're on par with the team, at least, do you know what I mean? Let's not lie here. The guy's got Saul Niguez, Koke, Llorente. He's got that Jimenez at the back. He's got João Felix. He's got, do you know what I mean? He's got like world-class players at his disposal. But then everybody's bought into this notion, oh yeah, he's defending, he's doing this, he's doing that. I think he should have gone out for the game. I think Leipzig have lost their best player. Timo Werner's gone Chelsea.
Yeah.
So therefore, for him to actually be that negative and think, I'm going to play for a 0-0 draw, I don't know what the hell he was doing. But for me, Leipzig did exactly what I expected them to do, like what they've been doing all season. And you could tell they missed Timo Werner in terms of their like going forward and that. And very young team, good players, but Simeone's missed the trick there for me. He should have just gone for that game, played Felix from the beginning, and then, do you know what I mean? For once, been on the front foot instead of just sitting back and then just playing that. That's for me. I think the cycle of Atletico with Simeone, I think it's over now.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it's done. It's done. I think they need a breakup. That marriage is done. It's run its course. It needs a breakup.
Yeah, perhaps their window is closed, but you don't know until they've like. This is a weird year. You know,
it's a weird year, but it's not. If you said there was one team that this format suited, it would be Atletico. Like, and I know they weren't playing like if they did what they did against PSG, who were going to be more ball dominant than them, then I understand. But again, Atletico and Red Bull Leipzig, Atletico were favourites for a reason, and Simeone just missed the trick there. They started playing when they were 1-0 down, and then all of a sudden started getting more into the game, and then I don't know. The tactics were all wrong for me in that game. And usually we applaud Diego Simeone and Atletico for their tactics.
I think it was you that said it in the group as well. No, I'm pretty sure it was you that said that usually Atletico Madrid prefer to be the underdogs because they come out fighting as opposed to being the team that's touted to win. Yeah, to win. So I think that also worked against them. I do believe that team plays better with a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, it does.
Without it, I don't think there's much movement. RB Leipzig, right? They were formed 10 years ago. They were in the 5th division, and it took them 7 to 8 years to make it into the Bundesliga. And now they're in the Champions League semifinals, 2-3 years removed from getting into the league. And now they've got all these exciting young players. And you can see that they've already started selling players. Like Naby Keita went for 50+ million. As you mentioned, Werner left for 40+ million or 30+ million. Do you think that they are going to be, because they've got quite a few more young players like Upamecano, who's linked to Man United, he's linked to Man City, he's linked to host of teams. You've got Sabitzer. What do you think they're another Monaco?
I think they'll go down that route, yeah. I think they'll go down the route. But I think there'll be a more sustainable module than Monaco. I think they might be more closer to sort of what Dortmund do. Get the up-and-coming young talents, nurture them, and they're 2021, try and get as much money as you can for them. But I think, like I can see the concept where you're going with that. Like with the, obviously where Monaco had that team. Was it the team that got to, was it semi-finals they got to with Fabinho, Bernardo Silva and all them guys? The semi-finals they got into the Champions League.
Yes, they did. Yeah. When they beat Man City, semi-finals,
semi-finals, yeah. I can see them going down that route of like basically getting all these young talents, building them. But then at the same time, don't you find that confusing? Because they're meant to be like quite rich, and they're not.
They're very rich. Well, it's the Red Bull company, isn't it?
Yeah. So why would you be as to like? I get Dortmund being a selling club, but I don't get why they for them like financially, I don't see the benefits of them being a selling club. They should be aiming to win the Bundesliga, be winning the Champions League. So all that, I don't really understand all of
that. I think this is a model to kind of like bring in these players and show them like we are actually doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe in about 5-10 years times, perhaps they might turn around and say to some of these kids, like when they sign, like, look, we are actually competing why would you use this as a stepping stone when we can actually be that part? Because you have to make your team attractive to come to. And if you're just forcing these players to sign, I don't know if that would have worked. I think the culture that they've got right now is so for now. And maybe in the future, then they can build on being a more outgoing, more challenging club, I suppose.
I get that. Do you know what it is though? I know it's going slightly away from topic, but Dortmund are I think Dortmund they're in serious trouble in terms of how their team players look at them now, because you got that Jude Bellingham that's gone to them, so they're looking at them as a development. They are a stepping stone basically. Like Bayern Munich came out the other week and said, at Dortmund you buy youngsters to sell them. Here we buy them to turn them into superstars and for them to win championships for us, such as like what they're doing now with their young ones like coming through and there. So I think Dortmund I think they're at the point of no return for what their module is. And Leipzig, I don't see the point of them doing that. I think they're a club that's got money. They've proven that they can compete with the big boys, because when you watch them, I don't think they're overall playing against anybody. And do you know what? I won't be surprised if they beat PSG. PSG have got the bottle job in them, so I won't be surprised if they get to the final.
Especially with a one-off game.
One-off game, anything can happen, yeah.
Anything can happen. So let's move on to the third game now, right? Barcelona against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Go on then. Go on. What do you make of this disaster?
I don't even know where you start with this. I know you get all these talks of, because like in the group chat, I was saying to you, I expect Barcelona to lose, but I expect Messi to carry the fight at least.
Yeah.
As soon as it got to like 2-3-1, the guy's 10 yards offside. He's walking around. He's got his hands in his face like this. It's like Messi is the guy that will say to you, why is this happening to you? Like, you know, his actual just comes across to say to me, I deserve better. Why is this happening to me? Whereas, like, whenever I make the argument of Messi and Ronaldo, I say Ronaldo just says, no, I can't let this happen to me. And then he just wants to take action. Whereas Messi is one of them guys who just says, why is it happening to me? But in terms of that club, I don't know. I mean, that club's, as Messi, as a legend and as a great player as he is, he deserves miles better than what they put around him, how they've handled the business. Antonio Griezmann, wrong by completely. Dembele, I don't even know if he's a footballer anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's just the guy, you've got a one-time, like, do you know what I mean, a legend in the game, a player that's like, do you know what I mean, a generational talent in Messi that's coming to the end of his career, and you want to put that around him and embarrass him where he loses 8-2, where people question his credentials and that. So for me, Barcelona are about 5-6 years away from being relevant, I think. It's a complete rebuild.
I've got a quote, right? I've had to write it down because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I basically took 3 quotes from the interview after the game with PK, right?
Yeah.
So I'll quote it for you. He goes, "This is not the first, not the second, not the third time this has happened." And then he goes on to say, "Structurally, the club needs changes of all kinds because nobody is essential." And then he ends it by saying, "Now we have hit rock bottom."
Yeah.
Do you agree with him?
100%, 100%.
Is it that big of a disaster?
Yeah, because it's a mentality thing now where Barcelona, people will look at them, teams will look at them and say, oh, they can be got. Like, if you go back to the Barcelona of 2009, 10, 11, even all the way up to 2015, ain't nobody going to be thinking that Barcelona team, you can get them. But this Barcelona team, since Xavi, Iniesta and all these guys have retired, it is genuinely, like he said, it's happened like 4 or 5 times to them. Mm-hmm. And it's genuinely like now it's got to the point where the whole team, it's just the build of it. Like, do you know, Barcelona, like, they're one of them clubs, they're like a classic club where you look at them and think, that's their type of player, that's the player they'll go for. And it just reminds me of Man United when Ferguson left. Oh, big name, we'll buy Pogba. Even though he's not really relevant for our project, but we'll buy Pogba, we'll get Zlatan, do you know what I mean? It just feels like scattergun where you're just trying to get everything here and there. And it just doesn't, it's like certain players like Antonio Griezmann, he's on 800k a week, but it doesn't fit the module of Barcelona.
No, not at all.
And like, do you know what I mean? It's just the team, the way it's run, the structure of it for a club of that size is very poor, man.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the last game, right? I think this was more than any. I feel like this was the biggest shock to me, and that was the Lyon versus Man City game. What did he get wrong? What did he get wrong?
Do you know, before the game, I said to myself, I'm gonna look forward to a Bayern and Man City semi-final. I expect Man City to get smoked in the semi-final, but Bayern not get smoked, but it'll be a close game, 3-1 maybe, 3-2, something like that. But then I looked at it and I looked at the starting lineup and I thought, when have you ever seen Pep Guardiola go with 5 at the back?
No.
Or does he fear Memphis Depay that much that he's going 5 at the back? What are you doing? So I three holding midfielders. What's going on? It's like I'm thinking like he didn't need Gundogan, Fernandinho, and De Bruyne. You didn't need to leave Mahrez on the bench. Do you know what I mean? It's just the whole time when I looked at the starting lineup, I said to myself, do you know what? I don't think he fancies it. I think he's genuinely just relying on like the De Bruyne magic show or Raheem Sterling to step up and actually overtake the game. I genuinely just think Pep Guardiola literally cost Man City that game. His tactics were too negative. I've never ever seen in my time of watching Pep Guardiola from Barcelona, Bayern Munich to this Man City team in the Premier League, I've never seen him go 5 at the back. And I know I've spoke to a few people and they said to me, oh yeah, but Leon have taken 4 points off them in the group stage, this and that. I said group stages, but Leon are going to come here with the underdog mentality. We're going to sit back. Whatever you give us on the break or anything like that, that's what we're going to take. Mm-hmm. And Man City literally did that. You gave him everything on the break. Edison gave him practically 2 goals. For the first goal, I don't even know what the hell he was doing. The second goal, he comes out and literally does not like show an angle to the defender, like to say place it here, there. He just comes out with his legs wide open and then bam, he puts it through his legs. And then the third goal, he just literally farms it. Actually, all 3 goals, I think Edison played a part in all 3 goals. But for me, Pep Guardiola literally tactically got it horribly wrong. You're Man City, you know what I mean? You're the powerhouse, you're favourites in the Champions League. And you've got Lyon, who are 8th in what we call the Farmers League, as Mbappe says, and you've gone out to them and absolutely shown them the world. It's not like he was playing 5 at the back against Bayern Munich. He played 5 at the back against Lyon. Yeah. So for me, I think Pep Guardiola literally cost them the Champions League there.
That's a shame because I felt like this might have just been the year for them, although Bayern Munich would have been a very problematic team to All right, cool. We're going to have to close it off there, Weezy. And people, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. If you haven't done so, if you like the video, the least you can do is like the video. We're going to keep dropping content as often as we can. And that's it from us, isn't it, Weezy?
That's it, man. Peace out. Make sure you tune in for Man United, innit?